Welcome to Cake on Tuesday, where we spotlight the rule breakers, the underdogs who refuse to listen when everyone said it won't work. I'm Elizabeth Bieniek, and for the next 20 minutes, we're diving into another disruptive innovation story that proves sometimes the craziest ideas change everything. Today's guest is Martina Douglas, a 20 years marketing and operations veteran in the pharmaceutical space. She's always been passionate about health and wellness. 12 years ago, she was introduced to CrossFit as a way to improve her endurance running. She fell in love with the sport and even met her now husband at a CrossFit gym. In addition to her strategic operations consulting practice, 4 years ago, Martina and her husband opened a CrossFit gym in Youngsville, North Carolina. And 4 years later, they are growing like crazy in an industry where 80% fail in the first year. She is now branching out into hybrid training and niching down on helping 40s plus moms reclaim their health. Martina, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super pumped to be here.
Yay, I really want to dig into this. So before we go into your backstory and opening a business in a space where most businesses fail, which I want to get it into, but first, can you tell us a little bit about what sets your soul on fire about what you do?
Yeah, so I feel really fortunate that we didn't know any of the stats and just dug right in and jumped into launching a gym because the rewards are there if you can get past that failure rate.
Yeah.
So I would say I really love the fact that we have this community of people who just want to show up and be together, and they're doing really hard stuff, and they're doing more than the majority of people are just sleeping in, staying on their couch, excuses. People who work really hard. You know, everybody's got things going on, but like together we're able to be stronger than we are in isolation. And right now I'm hyper focused on trying to help women in particular and supporting women that are 40 plus. Moms, especially, who have a lot of things going on. They're the ones who kind of carry everything. And I'm starting to focus on hybrid training, in-person and virtual coaching to support those with fitness and also create new income streams. I love supporting women come up with like new business opportunities. And I think that all came out because I truly was a part of opening this gym. Everything has a domino effect. You just don't always see how it happens. And that's how it happened for me. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. There's some things that make so much more sense in the rearview mirror than they did when you're going through the process. Like, oh, that's how those pieces fit together.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about how this all came about. So you've always been focused on health and wellness. You've always been interested in that space. What is it about CrossFit specifically that when you first fell in love with the sport, what was different about it?
So again, I was really interested in endurance sports, and I always played team sports when I was younger. And then when I guess it didn't really happen until like my late 20s, early 30s. I was running. I did a lot of like endurance running, like half marathons, and I was training for a half because I wanted a specific time. And I was like, I'll just try this CrossFit thing. I don't know, looks interesting. Literally, I was in New York City near Lower East Side is where we lived at the time. There was this East Village CrossFit thing. It's still somewhat new. And I was like, I just want to, I'm interested because I see these people running around. They look pretty fit. Like, what is this about? And I had heard strength training would complement your running. So I went in and I just kept going back. It actually was a mile from my apartment. My sister and I lived together at the time. And I would like walk to the CrossFit gym, then do a workout and then walk back, which sounds kind of insane to me now, but it really did help. It was funny how it got me to some pretty crazy times. But then I was like, I just like the weightlifting and running. Like you do all of that stuff with CrossFit. And I never felt like the best shape of my life has come by doing CrossFit for sure. So yeah, that's what inspired me to stay.
Okay, so you fell in love with the sport, but then that's still a far cry from wanting to open a business in the space. How did that come about?
That is so true. So I will say that my husband had he was a CrossFit. He became a CrossFit coach. He ended up doing that full time at one point for a little while. And then we decided we were going to have a family. We decided to move south, and we were really picky. There's a little bit of an anecdotal story to that. My family, meaning my
I love stories, so go as much as you want.
Everyone's always like surprised, but if you like know us, you're like, oh, that's really normal. Um, my parents and my sibling, my two sisters, and my husband and I and my sisters, I think they were married at the time, or they were fiance at the time. We did all these PowerPoint presentations and decided like what were the various places that we could live within the United States because we didn't necessarily want to stay in the Northeast and we knew we were raising families. So we visited a bunch of places, evaluated each of like the demographic data, and we knew we were going to open a business. Like that was always something we were doing.
Okay.
We all were a bit entrepreneurial. And so we were like, okay, this is what we're going to do. Was it a CrossFit gym at the time? Not necessarily. But when we came down here, we ended up deciding North Carolina, which in perfect spot for us. And while we were here, we had been participating in some of the local gyms, and there was just this like gap. Like there was this hole basically where there wasn't a gym, and a lot of our good friends had said, "We need a gym. Like we really need a CrossFit gym. We need one in this area." And I don't know how we picked like the short straw, maybe the long straw in the end. But everyone was looking at us, and I'm like, at the time, I had like I think my twins were like 6 months old, and we had like a 4-year-old or whatever. And I was like, why should we do this? It's a terrible idea. But alas, that like within a week, all of a sudden there just happened to be a warehouse space, a flex space, which, for permitting. And I was like, okay, we'll go look at it. Like it's like going and saying, oh, like you're, whatever this prized possession. I'm like, how are we going to say no? Right. So
Right.
that's to say, we now have a gym. That's how it happened. But it was crazy. It was a little crazy.
Oh, it sounds like a crazy season for sure. And then you mentioned too that you and your husband didn't really do a lot of deep research on seeing how likely CrossFit gyms are to fail. And it was a good thing.
Yeah, it was a good thing because I think so. I think a lot of people at the gym would say, I mean, I will say I have countless stories of people who have like their lives have been changed or saved, truly. People who've met their partners, now have children. Like we're now having new generations forming because of that place. It's one of those things where it's like bigger than you, nothing to do with you. And I think that there must have been a divine influence telling me not to do research for the first time in my life because I always do research and I did not do a lot of research on this one. I just did it. So, yeah, that's what happened.
Okay, so you guys just jumped right into this, 2 feet, all the things. What was that first startup phase, the first few months or that first year? What was that like?
It was a blur. So I think it's funny.
You
I
got three
really
little
wish I
kids, everything's a blur, right?
I mean, you're a mom, you have young kids too. It's like I think it's one of those things, and this is why I like love working with who are moms too. Like in my new coaching practice, there is a resilience and grit that exists in motherhood. And honestly, women are amazing to me in general. Like humans are amazing. We're capable of so much more than we think we are. And I think it was one of those things where we just figured it out. It's like there's a problem and we solved it. And there was another problem and then we solved it. So we just put one foot in front of the other. And I knew I had a market. Like we knew there were people raising their hands saying, I want to participate in this gym and I believe in you and I believe in what you're going to create. And we were able to find the right talent right out of the gate who were willing to support the business because we weren't able to work full time. So we had to make sure that there was somebody who could like coach and be like a great coach, which we did. We have like an amazing person named Chase. He does our programming. He also is like our lead coach and he was instrumental having our friends go, you can do it. It's like, that kind of thing. It's funny. It's
Yeah.
like the emotional soft stuff is what I needed because I can do the SBA loan, the contracts, like that stuff you're just gonna do, but you need someone to be like, by the way, you're not insane. Like just every so often, like that's really what matters, I think. So
Yeah.
in you. So yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
was it
wild.
for me.
Okay, so now you've been going 4 years strong, which again, I know there's another big stat of a lot of gyms that fail in the first 5 years, and you guys are showing no signs of slowing down.
No, we're
So,
not.
what
We're
have
growing.
this last few years been like? What have you learned in that process? And I'm sure you had a definition of success when you launched. And then my guess is your definition of success may have changed a little over the last 4 years. What's that look like for you now?
That's a great question and point, which nobody has ever recently asked me, actually. Funny, I don't know if anyone's ever asked me about the change, because your KPI, your personal KPI and the business KPIs will pivot. And I think I have like unrealistic expectations from the beginning, because I also think that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you have to be a little bit like unrealistic and delusional to be an entrepreneur, I think, anyways, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, right. I'm
Delusional optimism. That's what I like to say.
like, I embrace that fully. I think that's a great mantra. So I think for me, so I had some numbers in my head about what I wanted, and then it wasn't then that shifted. Like I said before, I don't think I've been part of CrossFit communities before, but I'm not trying to just be like humble bragging over here, but we legitimately have one of the most amazing groups of people that help each other at the time, like time when you need it most kind of moment. And it's not with the workout, it's like in life. Like, it's amazing to
Yeah.
go, oh, you got a job from so and so, and you met that person who helped you out of that situation, and like you were able to build that business because of that. Like, so much of that has happened as if like an organic tree, limbs of just support,
Yeah.
basically, community. So I should have known that that was going to be a thing, but like that's what keeps me going. And I
Yeah.
brought in a business partner who I love. Her name's Nicole, and she already had a successful business, and I knew she had a lot of talent, and she also, her and I think very similarly, and it helped to support like our marriage. Your marriage is important, so you have to make sure you're protecting that, and being able to work with her and then have like this bigger leadership team was super helpful too. So making a decision to bring somebody in to help me with some of the decision making, which I never
Mm,
would have thought that would have happened, but it's been such, like, I'm so grateful, and
right.
she brought so much to the table for me. So, like I said, it's not even so much that there's like these measures of success. Of course, I still have like a numerical amount. Like, I want this many members, and it has to have this kind of level of retention. But like, our retention stats are like astronomical compared to like the industry standard. Our churn rate is very low. Like, we didn't always, but we know our data really well. And I think that was another point, is like we're checking it weekly. We brought in a mentor. We meet
Hmm.
with them weekly. Like, we shored up the things that you need to do, treating it like a business that you need to. Like, every business
Right.
now kind of have the right systems in place. So, and I knew those things, but you don't know them until you're in it. Like, it's like now I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay, there's a team. We need to manage this. And I think, yeah, I'm like, we're gonna hit 5 years, and I'm really excited to see what's next. Like, we're evolving into personal training more deeply, and like that's super exciting. Like, us being able to engage with people on a deeper level, and it's amazing when people get their first pull up. Like, they never thought they would ever be able to do it, and they do. Like,
Yeah.
you almost want to cry. Like, it's a very wild. Like, I get so amped for people like, that I was doing it. It's just such a cool thing. I'm like, "Wow, do you know what you have accomplished?" Like, you would have told yourself 3 years ago you would never be able to do that, and now you're doing that, like, and
Right.
women, like, 50 plus, 60 plus, like, cra it's just, yeah, their livelihood and quality of life is gonna be infinitely better because of it. So, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not always data, it's like a
Right.
combination of both, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's a business, but you're also focusing on really improving the quality of somebody's life, focusing on something that matters.
Yes,
Yeah. I think you
100%.
also you hit on something else too in your comments just now that I want to call out is I think a lot of businesses get comfortable. They have those initial wins, and that you could have easily said, like, first year was good. All right, we beat that 80% statistic. All right, let's just coast. What we're doing works. And it sounds like you guys didn't do that. It sounds like you really got more involved and like, let's understand the numbers. Let's get a mentor. Let's get a business partner. So is that something you have consciously been working on of continuous improvement?
That's a good point. I think I will not say it is a linear curve. I will say that I have had multiple moments where I go, "What is happening? Can I do this again?" Like, it's so frustrating, right? And there there's hard times because stuff goes on in your personal life, and you, like, as the owner, you don't get to have that if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain that really, but any other better way. But like, if
There's a
I'm
lot of
having,
entrepreneurs that listen to the show and they totally get you.
yeah, I was like, I mean, I'm speaking to the like, everybody in the choir here, but yeah, I think, but like when I go into the gym, and it doesn't always, I'm a human being. So like, if I'm having a bad day, it's really hard to just turn it off or move past that. And so I think the continuous improvement happens. It has happened over time. If, to be honest with you, I've probably leaned in more now than I've ever been leaned in my life, which is kind of crazy at a time where I'm just like, okay, we're on the precipice of something like truly like amazing and meaningful and is going to change lives. And it's been hard for me to get there. It's been hard for me to go, you need to like go all in because I still have imposter syndrome like every other human being. I'm still like, why am I the right person to teach this person or right? But I also feel like by not trying to continue to make that brick and mortar bigger and better and grow in the right way, not just bigger, but like grow in the right way intentionally, and also put myself and immerse myself into that to the degree that I can, I am not letting it be what it could be. And so it's like there's this level of like responsibility that I feel like I have, but that is not to say, I mean, that's why it's been great to have Nicole and also have my husband and we have a lead coach and my sister who is amazing and she's just like somebody I can just talk to and level set with, who's a very good CrossFit athlete, like super good. And watching her improve, like grow, is just amazing. And I don't know, we have all these people around you who only want the best for you. Like everybody should have that. It's an incredible thing. So how could you be, even on the dark days, I still feel thankful. So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
to that. So yeah, I want to keep
Building
it.
community, and that's a basic human need. We need each
Yeah.
other. We need community. So it's pretty amazing that you have that built into your business. So what are you excited about next? I mean, you're also starting some other things. You mentioned about getting more into hybrid coaching and you're focusing more on helping moms. Like what's coming down the pike? What are you most excited about next?
So I am minutes away, not really, but a couple days away probably from I did this program, the Midlife movement, and I've created a couple of pathways for individuals to get one-on-one coaching. Either they can go through the facility or, they can come work with me in person if they're in the area, but do as a hybrid in person or virtual. And I'm focusing on this whole streams of income thing because I'm really good at building businesses from scratch and like getting the process and doing MVP just to assess opportunities to increase your income. And also this idea of creating strength opportunities for women in midlife. It's so vital that if you're not doing heavy lifting, and I just like say this, and you're not taking the right supplementation like creatine and magnesium, there's just so many benefits that I feel like it's important that I put it out there, especially in perimenopause and menopause. It is like fundamentally so important to help with bone strength, help with muscle strength, create balance and steadiness and all that. And a lot of that comes just by doing the strength training that you got to do before you're in a place where you can't. And again, anybody can start any day, but trying to, as much as possible, create proactivity to support women. So right now, that's been a big focus. Again, really focused on getting this gym to grow in the right way and support those who are within our community. They are the ones who show up every day and like so they will always get our attention and they'll always be our focus. And I'm excited to see what we do with this personal training. We just introduced High Rocks. High Rocks is like a really big event right now. It's like a global event. It's similar to CrossFit, but not exactly the same, but we've introduced that as well. Just making sure that everybody has access to fitness programs that suit them. We're doing a 50 plus, 55 plus, strong and steady. So if you've never worked out before, now you have a chance. Like our point was we need to create fitness programs to help every single person that we can within our community. Like if there's somebody out there who's worried, like we want them to be able to come in and feel comfortable. So like that's been a big focus lately for us.
Okay. So I have a question because you're in this space. So I had actually never heard the term perimenopause until I was in it. And then I was like, oh, that's where you are. I'm like, I never heard this word before. But it seems like lately, I haven't figured out, is it just when you buy a red car, suddenly you see everybody else with a red car, like, oh yeah, they're everywhere. Has this always been around? Has this always been discussed? Or has it really been over the last few years, there's been more of a focus specifically on helping customizing things for women in perimenopause and menopause and focusing on heavy lifting and weight training? Has that, being somebody who's been in this industry for a while, is that something that has increased over the last few years in visibility, or am I just late to the party?
No, I think that's such a very fair point. And I didn't know about it until very late when I started experiencing some specific symptoms and was almost like annoyed. Like, what do you mean? There's like this new thing that like now we gotta worry about that too. Like again? Like really? Like I thought it was like, have some kids, they're growing up and you got menopause, we're done, right? Like, yeah,
Right.
it's more involved. Honestly, I think it's there's a subset of a multiple components to this, or facets rather. And I think one part is that women are being more vocal about what they're experiencing. Like we are all talking about it more. And I think that it was not that there was like an avoidance, it's just there wasn't a lot of solutions to really even help women. There was that whole study that was done, which didn't do us any favors with regards to the whole estrogen situation where they hadn't used progesterone. And so there was increase in cancer, and there was just like a lot of non-informed, not correct, not accurate information at some points as well. So there also isn't a ton of clinical research that was conducted on women within menopause. Like the number of studies with regards to perimenopause is now significantly more, but like was null for a very, very, very long time. Maybe less so. But there were tons of studies relative to women within like birth and management of birth and labor. And not every woman is going to have a child, choice or not, right? But every woman is going to 100% go through some form of perimenopause and menopause. So, and I do get a little heated on the subject, but I think I just feel so passionate about the fact that women should not feel uncomfortable. Like we deserve to feel good. We deserve to have a really good quality of life. Some of it can be managed through supplementation by just taking some of the right things. Strength training helps a lot too. HRT, hormone replacement therapy, like based on whether, that's appropriate based on the doctor and like their specific situation. But ultimately, there are more solutions. And I do think sometimes it's like, there's not a solution. Why are we talking about it? And I'm like, that feels like the opposite thing we should be doing. And there's probably should actually find solutions for it, is more my thing. So yeah, I was pretty annoyed when I found out that there just wasn't a ton of research. And, again, not that I researched the gym, but I do research otherwise, and I'm very involved in research. And I think women have been underserved in terms of like clinical research and studies for so long. And this area was just it's a wild gap. We are closing it, thankfully, but there's more to do. Like there's so much more to do. And I'm
Yeah.
just, we're only on the cusp of it, but hopefully future generations of women will come up and not have to deal with what we've been dealing with. So I'm hopeful for that.
Yeah. So, Martina, if people want to learn more about what you're doing, what you're building, if they're local and want to join your gym, or if they want to follow what you're building for moms over 40, tell us where they can find you and learn more.
Yeah, so our gym is CrossFit Youngsville. You can find us at CF Youngsville, like CrossFit CF, is in fish, youngsville.com. And we're on socials too. We do a lot on Instagram and also on Facebook. We have a pretty great reach there, and just do. So I just had one today if you want to see our latest reel. And then you can find me at Martina Campbell Douglas. So martinacampbelldouglas.com. That's where I'm hosting my information with regards to my hybrid in person and virtual coaching. And again, I'm also on Martina _Campbell _Douglas. That's my Instagram. That's like probably easy way to reach me. I try to be pretty responsive. And then I'm on various platforms, so you'll probably find me if you look up any of those. But yeah, visit the gym if you're in the area. Totally visit or do drop-ins. And again, like I think, visit your local gym. Try to do some strength training. Find somebody who you can, if you're uncomfortable. YouTube has so many great free resources. Like that's such a good a
Yeah.
playground of activities that you could participate in. There are great instructors out there that just do it for free. And I just think it's like just get started. I always say, give yourself 30 days, put together a calendar for 30 days, just mark that you went every single day. Once you've started doing like 10, 12, 13 days, you're not going to want to quit. And I'm such a believer in like habit stacking. So if you read
Yeah.
Atomic Habits, is one of my favorites, it'll help, it'll help persuade
Yeah.
you. So reward systems are always helpful, but you're going to feel great. I mean, I am thankful that I work out and I'm strong and that I have all these people, but everybody deserves that. Every single person deserves to have a community and people that cheer them on. So, I hope you get yours, for everybody who's listening. That's important.
I love that. That's such a good way to end too as well. Thank you, Martina, so much for being here on Cake on Tuesday.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining another Cake on Tuesday celebration of beautiful disruption. Please share it, review it, and find more innovative stories at podcast.cakeontuesday.com. I'm Elizabeth Bieniek. Be bold, stay curious. Now go have some cake.